Alright, what's going on, man? We here. We back. Oh shit. What's happening? I just left the room and then I fucking come back. What's up, everybody, man? This is my Patreon live stream for November 26, 2019, man. We here. Got fucking 13 people waiting for me. Got comments. Holy shit. Hello to my boy Chris. Hello to Wing Dante. Hello to Brianna, Anna, Nina, Brianna, Kaya, Dino. Holy shit, man. I don't even know some of you. Is this even Patreon, man? I feel so blessed right now, man. For real. Like I remember streaming for literally 0 people, like, 6 months ago. And now I have like fucking 12, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. So hello to everybody. How you doing, man? Hello, DJ. Hey, Ahmed, man. How you doing? Keha, Dino. Shit, he said I'm from San Diego. Holy shit, man. We got people from everywhere. How we doing, homie? We doing good, man. We doing real good. I just came back home from my braces, so that's why I'm a little late. I just wrote some notes, and we got a lot of things to talk about, man. So let's get to it. I really want to focus on doing some critiques today. You know what I'm saying? I'll be answering questions. Oh, my boy Joshua here, though. And we're going to start with Joshua. So I'm really going to put you on the spot, though. So we got a whole bunch of critiques. Look at that. I'll be critiquing everybody. If you got some questions, please ask them, in the chat box. I'm going to be answering questions, but I want to do like one critique and then answer one question. You know what I'm saying? Because I get distracted way too easily. And that's kind of fun, but I want to keep it on the Twitch, on the Patreon. I really want to give my best so, you can get better and shit. Because honestly, I'm kind of tired of looking at your work like that. I want everybody to improve. Dino says, what up? Stoked to be a new patron. Oh, shit, I'm stoked to have you, man. See that? Everybody's so nice. Holy shit. Let's get started, man. I wanted to start out with a little inspirational speech, by the way. And let's talk about Joshua, man. Joshua, for those who don't know, he's one of my students in the mentorship. And holy shit, man, look at that guy. Chris says, welcome to the cool people club. Yeah, you're no longer with the fools. You're with the bigger fools now. And I'm the biggest one. So we good. But dude, I wanted to show you a little the improvement of Joshua, man. Look at that shit. This is the portrait that he sent me this week. And I was like, dude, I literally replied to him like, holy shit, well, can you stop getting so good? Fucking look at that. I got insecure. Look at that hair, dude. And I just wanted to show you where Joshua was literally, I think 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Let me see if I saved it, by the way. Yeah, here it is. This is what Joshua painted. Literally, wait, my music stopped though. This is what Joshua painted literally 3 months ago, man. So he got from here to fucking here, okay? And it's not, of course it's not a fucking race thing or anything, that's just the reference. But dude, look at the edges, look at the, the crazy variations, the rendering, like the hair, like dude, crazy stuff. So shout out to my boy Joshua, man. And I just wanted to show this to everybody to show you how easy it is to get better with portraits, all right? Like all you do, you just do the exercises. You start from grayscale. Actually, first you start with doing studies like this. I'm gonna talk about it, everything that I talk about on YouTube. You practice the planes, then you do black and white studies, and then you get to color. And you know what I'm saying, I'm here to fucking help. So if you got questions, I know it's kind of confusing, but I just wanted to start out with this little inspiration, man. Like Joshua did, I think this is his 64 study. So he did like 64 paintings and he got so much better. So yeah, man, shout out to Joshua. But with that said, let's talk about what's wrong with his painting. And by the way, I really like how he did this stage. He kind of did some color grading, or he did some effects. I'm not really sure. If Joshua, can you say in the comments what you did in this stage, because it's really interesting. Like you added some some particles and shit, but the main thing is like just the skin. Like it really looks like it glue up. It's probably some color dodge or something, but yeah, man, look at that process. Like Joshua used to be so bad with the sketching and with the line art. Like he's getting so much better. Look at that skin. And then the rendering, just a little bit touch of rendering, not too much. The hair doesn't look like a wig. It doesn't look like a broom, you know what I'm saying? It looks crazy and shit. Let me give you a little bit of feedback on this portrait though, and then we can get on to the beginners. Overlay with sunset. Oh, okay, that seems like a cool idea. Yeah, man, like you can experiment. Like once you get better with colors, you can kind of experiment with different, you know, color grading and all this shit, which I'm gonna do a tutorial on YouTube. But in the beginning, man, if you're a beginner or something, don't try to go crazy with the colors. Matter of fact, you should be working in grayscale, you know what I'm saying? So don't go too crazy, but afterwards, you know, you can kind of start playing with it. So the thing about this portrait, the first thing is really just kind of like the nose. I don't really like, let me get the resolution a little bit bigger though. I don't really like the nose because it kind of looks like, you know, just kind of like a bunch of random shapes. It kind of looks like, you know, like a symbol, like it kind of just goes like that. So what I'd probably do is just focus a little bit more on the planes of the nose. So you have the wings in here, you know, you have the bow, and Josh will kind of try to do that, but he kind of missed, you know, there's supposed to be some reflective light in here, like the wing of the nose. And it's really important when you're drawing the wings of the nose, like the bottom of the wing, it's really important to decide, is it going to be darker or is it going to be lighter? Like what happens in some pictures, like in this one, is that the nose is dropping a shadow on the skin, and that looks kind of okay in the photo, but if you try to do it in the painting, you see what happens. Like it just looks like some line art that you didn't really get rid of. Like it just looks like strong line art. So the thing about noses is that you have to decide before you draw them. Let me show you an example. Do you want the bottom of the wings to be darker than the skin? That's usually what I go for. Or do you want them to be lighter? So this is kind of like one example that I usually show my students. Like for example, you have, let me open this in Photoshop. So you have four different planes, right? I mean, you have a lot more planes, but you have the main ones are this, and this, you know, the side ones. So each of these four, you have to decide, does this plane, should it be lighter than, you know, the background of the face, or should it be darker? So usually the bottom ones, I'll make them darker just so it kind of looks like the nose is coming out, and then depending on the lighting, I'll make them lighter or darker, like the side ones. So what Joshua did, he did the side ones pretty good, but let me show you how he can do it better with the bottom ones. So a lot of the times, usually what makes a beautiful painting is just simplifying a lot of the things. Like I've kind of noticed that a lot of students just complicate a lot of the things. Like they notice, you know, a lot of details in the pictures. Like for example, let me show you how much more beautiful. And by the way, you gotta be careful with the fucking spotting in but I'm gonna talk about this later. So let me show you how much better that's gonna look if you just remove a little bit of detail. So remove that detail here in the fucking mouth thing, and it just looks better, right? And then remove a little bit of that line art into the nose, and just kind of make like the whole wing darker, and then add a little bit of reflective light. And it's also important when, you know, when the lighting is kind of coming from the top and it's kind of like an overlay, it's important to add a little bit of that reflective light on the nose. So you can add like just a little bit, like over here on the edges, and it immediately looks kind of like a little bit more 3D. And then also what you have to do is you kind of have to blend a little bit. You know, I'm against blending, but you can't just draw this plane like so harshly into the next one, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have like a middle, like a transition. Wait, let me show you how I did it. So in here, see how you can still see that this is a totally different plane, but you can still kind of see how it's transitioning into the other one. You know, it's not just, you know, it's not just so rough. So kind of transition it a little bit more, and you know, think about the edges. For example, this is going to be a lot harder, but then don't have the same line. You know, I feel like it was just kind of trying to do too many lines into the nose. Like actually get rid of some of those lines. And let me see the before and after. Yeah, I feel like that looks a little bit better, and probably make the nose a little bit smaller, like the holes of the nose and shit, because right now it just kind of looks like, you know, a manly nose, or kind of like a hobbit or something. So make it a little bit smaller, and it, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's overrated a little bit, but I'd usually make the eyes a little bit bigger and then the nose and the lips a little bit smaller. So look at that nose. Ooh, shit. Right. So that's one thing for the nose. Then I wanted to kind of mention the eyes. The eyes need to be a little bit closer to each other, just to kind of make them. And you got to make the whole iris should be a little bit bigger so the whole eye looks like it's looking at you. And I kind of explained this on Twitch, but let me explain it again. So you always, when you're drawing eyes, you always draw the like the black stuff of the eye, like the whole particle. I just draw one big iris, not iris, but one big pupil, and then I just draw the colorful afterwards, right? So it really needs to, like with only black, you need to find the form and then add the color. Like a lot of people just go in directly to the detail, highlights, all this shit, and the eye is still not looking good. So you need to find the whole form of the eye itself, and you know, to make sure that it's looking in the right direction. And then when you do that, then you can add some of that color, right? Then you add all of this color, and I usually just add it on the bottom. I feel like a lot of people just go a little bit too high with it. Like for example, see how Joshua went super high with the color, and that kind of usually makes the eyes look like, you know, they're super open. So I usually, you know, just keep it down here on the bottom and then just add the highlight. But don't rush the highlight, you know, you can always add it. The problem is once you add the highlight, now you can't really fuck around with, you know, changing the form. So I usually add one strip of color and then I just add another one with like a more saturated color or something. Let's say like blue, actually more like teal. And you know, I would refine the eye and I add out all this shit, but this is kind of like what I do for the eyes. And see how these eyes now, they look like they're looking at you. Like these ones kind of look like they're looking above the camera. Like it's really important for the eyes to make sure that they're looking, like if they're front view, to make sure that they're looking at the viewer so they can be more engaging, right? Another really important thing is kind of like the thing with what is it called? Fucking gingers, the spot on the face that kind of look like shit particles. Yeah, whatever that was called. You kind of have to be a little bit more careful with that. So usually I'll use this brush. If you're using my brushes, I have this one right here. It's great for kind of like particles and shit. Like it kind of produces all these random particles. And another great trick that I use for this thing is I do medium blur. So if you go to filter, blur, let me see, medium, maybe where it is. Anyway, I just have it as a shortcut. You have to find it later. So the thing about medium blur, what happens is it kind of blurs things, but it also kind of fucks with the form. So it kind of simplifies the form. So all of these little shit particles, you kind of remove them and they just become little circles, right? So that's the thing about the thing with the spots on the face, is that it just shouldn't look like a spot. Like it should look like skin texture, right? So you need to have like a specific brush rather than you just using a normal brush like Joshua and just kind of make him look like she's suffering from some weird disease. And especially be really careful around the chin and around the face area, because not the face area but the face edge, because it can kind of look like a little bit of hair. Like it might look like stubble. That's what my face looks like when I don't shave for like 3 weeks, because I don't really have any hair on my face, but I just have little hairs. So kind of be a little bit more careful with that. Freckles, yeah, that's what it's called. Creases, lesser pimples. Yeah, that's kind of like pimples, but they're just not ready yet. Permanent sunburn spots. Oh man, you clever with the ideas. I didn't even think about it. All I thought about is shit particles. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then also the neck. It's really important for the neck to always to not really, like a lot of people just draw either the chicken neck, you know, they have the chicken neck like that. They have the fucking wrestler neck, like big ass neck, or sometimes they have the neck going like this, like, you know, it's going inside, or sometimes they kind of have it going outside too much. So I feel like Joshua had it a little bit going outside. Like the trapezius muscle for men, it might be, you know, prominent like that, but for women it's really going to be a lot more subtle, right? It's going to be a lot more just straightforward to the neck. And I'm gonna do a whole tutorial on the neck because I think it's really confusing for a lot of people. But basically what you have to think about is that it's this just one tube, and then into the tube you have the trapezius muscle, and then you have the clavicles. So what Joshua did is pretty good, but I would just suggest to get rid of a little bit of detail. Like I feel like the detail is a little bit too harsh, so it kind of makes her look, you know, a little bit too muscled. So for necks like this, I would just usually focus on kind of like just finding out where the muscle of the neck, like the biggest one, this one, kind of like what Joshua did. So he did pretty good. Just focus a little bit more on edges and a little bit less on forms. Like I feel like he went a little bit too hard with the forms. And then over here at the chin, dude, I'm so in love, by the way, with doing, let me mention this, by the way, a side note, I'm really in love with doing critiques, but when I see that people are kind of like starting to understand shit, okay, and I don't mean this to be like a, you know, like a diss to all the beginners, but I guess it kind of is. I mean, I feel like you can learn a lot more when you're doing the proper exercises and you're following in, you know, in just studying something rather than you just doing a bunch of random studies. Like, for example, this is going to be a bad example, and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I kind of will. But O'Briana, I think, was it O'Briana? Yeah, O'Briana sent me this, which is kind of cool, but the thing about this is, like, what am I supposed to critique? Like, I don't know, it looks cool, the perspective looks kind of right, you know, the composition, you can work a little bit on the composition, but you know what I'm saying, like, I feel like that's the thing, like, I don't really feel like I'm a teacher, you know, like, I'm too beginner of a teacher to be fucking a teacher, you know what I'm saying? That probably didn't make any sense, but I feel like my thing right now is to teach you how I got to where I am, right? So this is how I got better with portraits. So really, if you want to get better with portraits and you want me to help you the most, because listen, like, you're paying me money, so I'm here to fucking help you with whatever, but I feel like I can help you the most with, you know, with this type of studies, because I feel like, you know, that's what I've been doing, so that's what I have the most experience with. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Chris says, oh my god, Joshua got the it's pretty good, GG. Well, okay, he did it, he might get to amazing someday. Anna says, what brush we need to the freckles? So if you download my brushes at aganev.com/brushes for free, this one right here, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you just go down, there's 3 types of particles, right? So you have 3 different type of particles. Wait, let me move this. So you have this one, which I kind of usually use for snow and shit. Then you let me show them to you. You have this one, then you have this one, which I use for freckles, and then you have this one, which I usually use for, like, you know, kind of like glowing stuff around, you know, the portrait, like this one in here. Let me show you. You know, for example, like this one, see, like these little particles in here, that's this brush, right? So this is snow, this is snow, this is freckles, aka shit particles. I guess they're all shit particles. And then you have this one as glow, right? Joshua said it only took 6 months to get GG. Now I've been trying to play nicer though. I mean, I've been trying to, you know, get more compliments to people. But anyway, final thing I wanted to mention, this thing right here doesn't really make a lot of sense that Joshua did it. I know he did it because he saw it in the reference, but that's the thing about painting, right? If you look at something in the reference and you don't really understand what it is, and you just try to paint it, it's gonna look wrong. So rather try to understand what it really is, or just try to paint something that you already understand. So I'm pretty sure that Joshua right here, what he tried to do is he tried to do some reflective light on the chin, right? Or kind of, it looks like that. But basically what happens in the reference is that you have the shadow, but then because there's a little bit of lighting, what happens is you can actually do that with a soft brush. So it kind of like, it goes a little bit into the shadow. But honestly, I don't think I would even add this step because it kind of makes it, you know, worse. Like, for example, what I'd probably do is just have the drop shadow from the head, and then I'll have a little bit of reflective light onto the chin. And basically when you have really dark shadows like this on the bottom of the chin, what I usually like to do is I would like to just add a little bit of light into the shadow itself. But pretty much what Joshua tried to do, but the mistake that he tried to do is that he used this small brush and he was using hard edges. So he used a bigger brush to softer edges and maybe a little bit of, you know, a little bit of that soft brush to kind of like make it glow. So look at that, you know, look at that drop shadow, so much better. So that's kind of it for this portrait. I guess you can kind of move this part. I've kind of said this before, but I'll say it again. Every time you're doing portraits in front view, what ends up happening is people are usually drawing the face a little bit too wide. So kind of notice that if you're doing this, and you can kind of like bring the part of the face a little bit closer to the eye. I'm talking about this part, right? I'm talking about this thing right here. Like this part right here is a little bit, oh, sorry. It's usually a little bit too big, so I usually just grab it with the lasso tool, Control C, Control V, copy paste it, and just move it in. And look at that, boom, boom, bitch. Okay, so I hope that helps. Joshua, do more, do fucking more. Oh, by the way, Joshua had the figure drawings. Let's look at the figure drawings. Anyway, I feel like I used a little bit too much time for Joshua, but I feel like that was a critique that everybody can learn from. That's why I wanted to start with it, because the other critiques are gonna be useful for the people themselves, but I'm not sure, you know, how much you're gonna get out of this whole thing, because I'm really trying to teach everybody at the same time. Like, that's why I think the live streams are just so useful, because I'm showing something to somebody and then everybody else can learn from it. Nina says, how much should we take from the reference to the painting? That is my issue. How much should we take from the reference? Do you mean like hours, or do you mean like detail? Can you write that? Do you mean like just as a matter of detail? Chris says, depends on how much one wants to simplify, I guess. Angel told me to use a soft brush. Never thought this day would come. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I usually use a soft brush just for like little things like that at the end, you know, or maybe like some effects or something, but not really for painting, you know. Like once it gets to details, you can use anything, but you know, in the core of the painting. And by the way, you could have tried looking at this hair. I really like how you simplified it, but what you could have tried to do is kind of draw a little bit of that hair that you kind of see going in here, like, you know, like it's going down and then it's going up. Like, I feel like that's really interesting, and you kind of lost that. DJ says, I learned nothing. I'm in a constant state of checked out. Well, fucking check in then. I don't know. Nina says, I mean, what should we leave out? Well, that's a great question, but the thing is, that's the whole question about art, is what you should put in and what you should put out. So I don't think there's like a, you know, like a complete answer, like this is what you should do and this is what you should leave out. But I guess the best answer I can give you is just with practice, you're gonna learn which things make for a better portrait and which things make for a worse one. Like, for example, the detail around the nose that I showed you, like this thing right here, like this is all gonna hurt the painting. And then, you know, like leaving detail into the eyes and just leaving the eyes, like the eyes need more details than the whole rest of the face. So I guess the question is experience, and that's why the reason why I'm doing these live streams, because I don't even feel like I got a lot of things to learn, to teach you, but I just want you to teach yourself with doing studies, and I'm here to kind of more like guide you, you know, like tell you like this is what you're doing wrong. So I guess Nina, do more studies, and then with time, does Nina actually have, do we have Nina today? Nina, did you, oh yeah, we got actually Nina next. Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna definitely talk about this, Nina. So let's get to the figure drawings of Joshua. I don't know if I have them though. Did Joshua send me some figure drawings? I don't think he did, right? Anyway, let's get to Nina. I'm taking notes because I've got a brain like a goldfish. Oh, that's cool too. This why I got all these notes. What you think? I'm a goldfish myself. Dude, I'm not even a goldfish. I'm an orange fish. I don't even deserve the fucking gold. So next up we have Nina, and she actually had a question. So let's open her artwork in here. And now that we kind of finished with the Joshua question, because I felt like that was like a more general thing. I feel like the next critiques are gonna be a little bit faster, and I'm just gonna kind of give you, especially if you're a beginner. That's why I mentioned, like, if you're a beginner, I really want to do tutorials on YouTube so you know exactly what exercises to be doing. And then when you're more of an intermediate, I can do more critiques. Because the thing is, when you're a beginner, like, so many things are wrong that I don't even know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna talk about this later, but for example, Logan, I'm gonna give him like some feedback and shit, but you know, like, there's just so much wrong with that. And I'm sorry to say this, Logan, but there's so much wrong with this portrait that I don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? So again, the reason why I'm here is to show you what exercises that you need to be doing. And then when you kind of, you know, hit that level of, you know, what do I do now, I can kind of show you the next level. Joshua said, I had to use a separate email. Well, now you know that you shouldn't be using a separate email, motherfucker. I lost this shit. If you haven't sent it in that email, okay, you know what? We don't really have any time left. Let's do it next week. Send me more figure drawings. I think they were pretty good. Oh, I have them right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just have them in the folder. They're called Angel Figure. Okay. We good. Oh yeah, I remember these. Did I not tell you to not be doing any painting, you dumbass motherfucker? What is this shit? I told you just do drawings, or did I tell you this? I don't even remember, man. Anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize. That was a little bit too harsh. These are kind of good, but I kind of like your previous ones a little better. I think what happened is you were focusing a little bit too much on the structure before, so I told you to kind of relax and be a little bit more fluent, and now you're trying to be fluent, but you actually forgot the structure. So I feel like right now you're just focusing a little bit too much on the line art. Like, focus a little bit more on the gesture and then on the structure. Like, all this line art that you're doing, like why are you doing the shoulder and the tricep? You know, like literally having an... Okay, let me talk about this real fast. Okay, this is kind of useful. Joshua said the file was too big. Fucking excuses. I don't want to hear no guy. The file was too big. Fucking, I don't know. Send them to Pornhub. You told me after I did the 3. Oh, okay. Your excuse. That was a pretty good excuse. I give you that. So the thing is, you shouldn't be doing this line art, like for example this shoulder going into the tricep, when you don't even know the form of the shoulder. So what you should be doing with figure sketches and kind of learning how to do figures is you should break down the form. So for example, this shoulder, the way that I draw it is I'm thinking about the whole shoulder. Like, I'm thinking about how the tricep is connecting into the shoulder. Actually, first I'm thinking about the gesture of the hand, and it's coming out on YouTube. I swear I got so many tutorials for you. It's just kind of like, I just need a little bit of time. But you're first thinking about the gesture of the whole arm, right? You have this. And then on top of the gesture, I'm thinking about, you know, how the form of the shoulder, like the whole form, is connecting to the form of the tricep. You know, it's not even anatomy. It's kind of like, you know, basic forms colliding with each other. And then after you have these two, which is a totally different exercise, I go on top and I do what Joshua did, which is this line art. So basically, just to talk, just for you to kind of understand it, in portrait terminology, you were pretty much trying to do what I tell people not to do in the beginner, and what you were doing with the portraits was correct. You just kind of have to apply that with the figures as well. Like, think about the gesture, and then think about the structure. Don't think about the line art in general. So do this and kind of just have a little bit more of, you know, like circles. Like for example, like this whole back. Like, you need to have like, let me try to explain this. So you see like how the whole back is just one big form, and then you have the shoulders, then you have, you know, the spine, you have this muscle, you have this muscle. So you have to be thinking about these things in bigger structures to small structures. So you're thinking about the whole back, and then you're breaking it down into smaller planes, you know. And basically what you were trying to do, you're thinking about the line art of this hand. Like, I can see you kind of how you just move this arm, because I didn't mean to say hand, I meant arm. Like, you're thinking about this arm, but basically what happens is that you should think about this whole thing as just one big structure, the same way that you're thinking about the portrait. You know, like this, imagine this is the nose, right? So you wouldn't be thinking about the nose if you're a beginner, like, you know, just two lines in a hole. Like you would be thinking about planes touching each other. But just do more figure studies, man. I swear, this shit, you're gonna all, you know, learn this with just doing more. That's what I'm telling everybody, man. Just keep doing them. Did Joshua clone stamp over the nipples? Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. Thank God he did, because I don't want to get fucking banned on YouTube. I gave myself less time, like 15 minutes. Should I go back to 30 minutes? You know what you should do? Oh, dude, I didn't even... Yeah, you're right. I didn't talk about this. Okay, it's my fault. I take my words back. So, did I tell you last time that you should be doing one complete figure drawing? I think I mentioned that only in the email. But basically what I think you should try to do is... And that's only for Joshua. I'm not giving this advice to everybody else. But have two types. Have 15-minute figure drawings when you're just doing the gesture, and focus a little bit more on just capturing the form, right? Just capturing like the energy of the pose. And then have only one figure drawing when you're doing like, you know, 2 hours, where you're just trying to capture the whole structure of the body. So the 15 minutes are more about energy and proportions, and then the 2 hours is more about construction. So I want you to do more 15-minute, and then have only 1 hour, only 2 hour, and then I'm gonna give you critique on the 2 hours, because the 15-minute ones are like, I can't even get you critique because, you know, it's a little bit too fast, right? So I hope that makes sense, and I'm gonna talk to you next week. So let's get to Nina. Nina actually had a question, so let's get to it. I started watching the live stream today. Please, could anyone tell me what does rendering mean? Because when I look it up, the meaning doesn't make any sense to me. And by the way, I'm so impressed what you do and your approach, Angel. You're the first person I really look up to. Oh, thank you, baby. You mean besides Jesus, though? Because Jesus is first, and then I'm second. Maybe I can be, 1.5. I also have authority issues. That's the way to go, baby. That's the way to go. I don't know how you're watching my videos. If I was watching a motherfucker like me, though, just talking all this shit, I would just go crazy. So, congratulations for having authority issues and watching me. So that's a great question. What is even rendering? Like, what is this thing I'm constantly talking about? Anna says, when had we find references for gesture drawings? That's a great question. Let me answer this first. So, you type in gesture drawing reference, right? It's not that hard. Sketch daily reference site. So do you have a bunch of websites, no clothing, nude, pose, action, all, everything, whatever, and then you just get look at this one. This is great. I think there's some YouTube videos, if you're right, like figure reference nude. Yeah, these ones are great as well. Like there's a whole videos, like 35 minutes, where there's actually like a clock, and you're looking at the pose. Fucking phenomenal. And then if you're doing, this is kind of like for gesture, and if you're doing like more like complete figure studies, you need to look for more, for better references on Pinterest, and that kind of goes back to just looking for a lot of references. Joshua says, look up figure drawing on Google. It's like the second or third link. Yeah, look at these ones, New Masters Academy. I think they're gonna help you as well. So let's get to the rendering question. So this is Nina's work. I'm actually really happy with it, and this is kind of like the reference that she used. So what I basically feel like for Nina, and I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but dude, fucking congratulations on having a normal goddamn signature. I think I mentioned it, but dude, fucking first person to learn to just write their fucking name, all caps, it's easy to, just easy to read. None of these weird ass signatures, people signing their shit like that. Who motherfucking cares about you, man? You're not fucking Picasso. Nobody recognizes your signature. So, the thing about Nina is that she's doing really great with the edges and the structure, but she's lacking some of those proportions, which is really interesting because that's super rare. What you basically see in most intermediates and beginners is that it's the completely opposite. Actually, in most beginners, they're lacking pretty much everything. But basically, what you're doing when you're drawing, portrait drawing, you start with, you know, just drawing, and then you have structure. You know, I talk about this on YouTube, and then you have edges and, you know, all these other stuff. But what happened with Nina, I don't know why. Maybe she was just painting a lot more. She's actually understanding like different type of edges. Like she understands the cheekbones, how to render, and basically what I mean when I say the word render is actually that's more like blending. Like the thing that I'm saying, don't render, that's pretty much blending. What I mean is you're getting one color and you're getting another color and you're just combining them, right? And that there's nothing wrong with that if you're advanced and you already have the structure. But what happens is when you're a beginner, you're just relying on that for all your drawings. Like you're basically just trying to hide all your mistakes with just combining colors and combining shit because you don't really understand what's happening. So basically when you're a beginner, you should focus more on just trying to understand the structure and the planes, and there's a YouTube video coming next week about this, to really understand like the planes themselves so you can understand how to render on top. So basically what Nina did is she was just painting a lot, and she actually started to understand how to paint a lot more than she understood how to draw. So basically in this portrait, it looks pretty, like, don't get me wrong, I kind of like it a lot, but I feel like the way you can get better is just doing by more drawing. So what I want Nina to do, I don't know if she's watching, but Nina, please do more drawings in general. Like don't even paint. Like you're already doing pretty good with painting. Like I just want you to do sketches. And by the way, I talk about this on YouTube, but stay away from any references that are just cut off, like just any references where you're not seeing the whole head, because when you're not seeing the whole head, you can't really think about the whole structure, and you can't really think about the perspective of the head, because you know you're only seeing like eyes and lips, and usually, you know, those are the most pretty references because you're not seeing, you know, people's whole heads. But try to stay away from those and kind of look for more. You know, I talk about this on YouTube. Just watch the YouTube video about how to find good references, and yeah, just do more drawings. You know, I want you to think about the proportions, about the perspective, but just generally you're doing good. I feel like if you do like 10-20 drawings and then you get back to a little bit of grayscale and then you get to color, you're gonna be all right. So just kind of do that and then send it to me for critique. So that's Nina. Let's get to Ann Kelly. Let's look at Ann Kelly, man. I'm doing good, man. Holy shit, this is going great. If anybody has some questions, man, write them in the comments. Nina says, I have the problem that the sketch is great. When I paint everything, it looks distorted. Oh, that's a really common thing. So basically, that happens because when you're doing the sketch, when you're doing the sketch, right, you're thinking that everything is great because you don't really think about shadows. So basically, the thing that solves that problem is when you're doing the sketch, you shouldn't be thinking about it as line art. Like basically when people are trying, let me show you a great example. When basically people are trying to do the sketch, they're thinking about this, right? Like they're thinking about this. People think about the sketch more about like line art, like this, right? They think about, oh, this is my sketch. But even if they're not drawing on, you know, on this level or whatever, pretty much when they imagine the sketch, they're thinking, you know, clean lines, you know, they're not thinking about structure and everything. So basically you should focus more, and you know, it's kind of weird because, you know, I don't want to boost my ego too much, but I'm kind of more advanced, so I'm not really doing the planes of the head and all this shit. But basically, when you're a beginner, you should be, that's why I keep talking about all these planes and shit. You should be focusing more on like different type of forms. Like for example, you see this eye, right? Like you just wouldn't draw this eye like this. like just one eye, and then you get just draw the nose. Like when you're drawing the eye, you should be thinking about, you know, everything I mentioned on YouTube, the bow. Then you're thinking about the structure, like the eyelid is going on top of the bow, and then you're thinking about this, about everything else like this, right? So you have the eyebrow, you're thinking about the eyebrow, it's just a bunch of planes. And again, I'm gonna talk about this on YouTube, but let me show you how Joshua did it, because it's pretty good. So if you see how Joshua is doing the line art, it's just not some, hold on, my computer is not ready for this. Okay. So see how Joshua is not doing just a bunch of line art, like he's thinking about the planes, like everything, all of these lines, they might look really cringy right now, but he's not gonna have them in the final painting. Like they're just there to kind of find out the proportions. So to answer your questions, you need to be doing more structure in your drawings in order to avoid the problem with the painting looking not like the sketch. Kia says, are your live streams always at the same time? Yeah, I'm afraid they are. I was thinking of doing them at different times, but I'm kind of like super busy nowadays, man, and that's the perfect time for me. So Tuesday 7 p.m. You know, you can always watch the fucking thing though. You can always watch the recorded version, and if you got some questions and you cannot join live, you can, you know, send them on an email, kind of like you know, Nina did, or kind of like Logan, and I'm just gonna read the question on the live, and then you're gonna watch the recorded version. Oh, Joshua said, killing it, Angel. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I thought I was the sketching god. Ah, that's funny. Anyway, let's get to Ann Kelly, right? We finished with this. Let me see where Ann is. Oh, yeah. So, basically what Ann did, I told her that she needs to do more black and white sketch, right? More black and white painting. So she decided to just do like a master study of one. It's not a master study when it's mine, but just kind of like a study from another artist. So she just showed this reference from me, and I feel complimented. But the thing that happens with this drawing is I feel like it's a little bit too advanced, because I'm gonna explain this right now. Let me open it. Basically what happens with this drawing is that because there's not any strong lighting or anything, it's really hard for you to understand all of the subtle nuances. Is that how you pronounce that word? All of the subtle nuances that happens in the cheekbone, that happens in, you know, over here in the mouth, you know, over here in the eyebrow. So you really need to kind of understand all of the subtle proportions and all of the subtle planes in order to draw something that kind of looks a lot more aesthetic, and it doesn't have strong lighting. So that's why I always say look for more you know, like references, you know, for example, like this. Dude, why is my computer so fucking slow? Come on, what happened? All I'm asking is to open a fucking image. Okay, that's not a good example. But search more for references that have, you know, obvious shadows, you know, obvious, you know, let me try to search for a good example. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, this is so good. So see how much easier it's going to be for you to study from this reference than it is to be from my painting. And by the way, that's a great exercise to study other people's paintings. But I feel like your main thing should be to study from photos, because photos have a lot more information for you to study from. And then what you do is you study from the photo, and then you have other people's work on the side to see how they solve the problem. So that's why I have a lot of artists' works on my side, because I'm looking at it more like this is how they solve the problem. So this is gonna help me solve my problem, right? But basically you're studying more from the photo, and then you're using my painting, for example, like how I simplify the hair. But I feel like if you're constantly focusing on master studies or studying from other people, you're gonna lose on just a lot of detail and kind of learning on your own, right? But just to kind of mention real fast something really important. Anne says, yeah, I wanted to work on the hair for this work. Oh, okay, I'm gonna critique the hair, but I just wanted to mention real quick how important it is to be careful with the liquify. So liquify is something that I use a lot. You basically, what liquify, for anybody who doesn't know, you press Control Shift and X, and you open like Pandora's box or something, and you're just able to push things around, right? So I use that a lot. I've always said that I don't really recommend it to beginners because it's really hard to learn how to use the liquify. Not because it's complicated, it's really easy to use it, but it's hard unless you understand all the proportions and all the shit. So I basically wanted to show you how Ann Kelly sent me this second version of the portrait, which I feel like it's worse than the first one. So she sent me this one and she's like, you know, I tried to improve the portrait, but I feel like this one is better than the previous one is better than the new one, because basically in the new one, when you try to and the thing that people don't understand about liquify is that if you don't understand how to use liquify, basically what happens is you try to move one thing, but because it's a circle, actually what happens is that the most powerful point in the liquify is going to be in the center of the circle, right? And on the edges of the circle is going to be a little bit, you know, less powerful. Dude, that looks funny as hell. So basically you try to move one little thing, but then you're moving everything else, right? So basically what happened with Anne is she tried to fix the eyes and the nose, but then the whole head kind of looked like what I did with my painting. Like this is kind of like what it looks like, you know, this is exaggerated for you to understand it, right? Like she just tried to push the whole thing. So that's why I say don't focus on the liquify and don't try to change your mistakes, but actually start learning more about drawing, because when you learn about drawing and structure, you start noticing these things and you start, you know, learning how to fix them rather than just using the liquify. But let's talk about the hair real quick though. And says, I wanted to hide the mess I made, I admit. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like whenever you're using liquify or for blending for that matter, basically when you're using it just to kind of like fix or, you know, hide your mess, it ends up getting worse, right? Because the power of liquify is for you to kind of know exactly what's wrong and then just fix it. But people are going to the liquify because they know something is wrong, but they're not sure exactly what it is. So actually spend more time learning about painting so you know exactly what's wrong so you can fix it. You know, just don't try to fix. That's the thing about rendering. Like people like, okay, final thing I'm gonna mention about rendering. The thing is, rendering is great, right? It's super useful, but only if you know what you're doing and you know how to improve something. But people are doing rendering because they don't understand how to paint the face or how to fix their mistakes, and basically they go in and they're like, okay, I'm gonna make it better and I'm gonna draw a bunch of details. That's why details are bad, not because, you know, there's anything wrong with detail. I draw a lot of detail. The problem with detail is because you're trying to hide basically stuff that isn't working, right? So I hope that makes sense. But let's talk about the hair though. I kind of like it, but basically, let me show you Joshua because I feel like it's a great example. Basically, you should think about the hair as a bunch of forms connecting to each other, and I think that's kind of lacking in your work. So you can kind of see it in my work as well. I'm thinking about these beads of hair kind of like almost like parts going into each other, you know, and you really need to be and that's kind of like old artwork. I think that's kind of like more 2018 or something. I think I've kind of developed this even better nowadays. Like when I'm doing hair, I'm confident in the different forms I'm making. Oh, I think this is a great example, right? Like this one. See how I know exactly what piece of hair I'm drawing? Like it's not just some wishy-washy, a bunch of, you know, pieces of hair and it just kind of like it looks like hair. It's like, nah, I understand, you know, and it really sounds like I'm blowing my horn, which I totally am, but focus a little bit more on the drawing. Like even for hair, I tell people like you should be doing sketches of hair too. Like when you're sketching and you're looking at the reference, you should still be doing, you know, breakdowns and planes and stuff. Like you should still think about hair the same way that you're thinking about the face. Like still break it down into planes. Like for example, notice how like people just don't draw any 3D into the hair. Like see how there's literally no planes in this? Like it's all just this, right? It's all just flat. So basically think about more about the whole form. Let me open this in Photoshop and I'm gonna show you. Oh dude, I'm dropping a whole bunch of videos today, man. Y'all better be grateful for this shit. God damn. So see how this hair, like, it looks like it's 3D because there's planes, right? Like all of these different planes, they're going into space, and it feels like, you know, they're breaking. It feels like they're connecting to each other. It's not just flat, you know. It's not like I was just trying to draw the hair like this. It's actually planes, right? Like if you look at it, this, like, see how this is going above the ear. So just spend more time sketching the hair out and thinking about it as a bunch of, you know, like a structure. So find some good references and you know, do a bunch of sketches and then send them to me. And don't focus a lot on these little hairs, man. I always tell people, like, if you look at, let me try to show you some steps. If you look at my steps, and I'm gonna post them on the 1st of December, by the way, all the rewards for November. But I'm drawing these little hairs at the very last stage. You know, I'm painting for like 5 hours until I draw the little hairs, right? Like even in this portrait, see how everything is broken down into like little planes, and then at the end I just add a bunch of small hairs. Like the small hairs are overrated, but they look really good if everything else looks good, right? So I hope this makes sense. Let's see who's next, man. Holy shit, I've been talking a lot. Oh shit, it's been almost an hour and we're not even halfway through. Shit. Let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, we got Eddie next. Dude, Eddie, he's been doing some sketches. I'm really happy with him. This is kind of like the sketch that he did. He's a total beginner, so I just kind of told him just to copy whatever he likes. But let me talk about this because I feel like it's a really good example for the perspective of the head. So the reason why I feel like this is too complicated is because of the perspective. And you can kind of see how Eddie didn't really catch any of that. And says, okay, boss, that's what I want to hear, okay? Thank you with a heart. Oh, thank you too, baby. Now you got me fucking... Now you got me just push and pull. Fucking okay, boss, and then with a heart. So basically what happens in this artwork is that the perspective is way too harsh, so it actually looks like a box, right? See, like this, the perspective is just so extreme that you're looking at the head, you know, from like as if you're above the head. So Eddie didn't really catch any of that, and he just drew it like super flat. And I can't really, you know, I can't really shame him for doing that because he's a total beginner. But that's why I feel like it's important for Eddie to start doing his exercises and to start doing. Oh, he's here. How you doing, Eddie? Time to bully Eddie again. Oh man, bullying is my favorite part of art. This is what it's about. So Eddie, man, I want you to start doing, you're doing big boy stuff now, right? I want you to start doing the exercises that I give other people too, like all this shit. Watch the YouTube tutorial and just try to break down, find some good references and try to break the head down into cubes, into different like circles and shit. And keep doing the anime copies because I feel like they're gonna help you with the lines and shit. But at the same time, you need to understand everything I'm talking about. You know, all of these lines. Like, for example, you have to picture this box. He says, "I'm always here." Oh, you better be, and you better have your dick in your hand. That's for sure. You have to understand, you know, the box of the head, like the circle. How the you know the just do a bunch of boxes, do a bunch of circles, everything I talk about in the video, and then send me that, and then I'm gonna talk about it next week and I'm gonna give you feedback. But pretty much for this I can't even give you feedback because it's just so wrong. Okay, so do a bunch of exercises, then send them to me and we're gonna get it from there, right? Nina says the photo is taken from the wrong perspective. That is why it looks so weird. You mean this photo? I don't think so. Because if you look at the edge of the sketchbook, right? You see this edge of the sketchbook? It's actually normal. So I mean, it's a little bit, you know, inclined, like the camera wasn't, you know, straightforward, but it's not enough to where it's just like if the page of the sketchbook looked like that, then it would be wrong because the whole portrait would be laying flat. But basically what I think Eddie did, he took it from the top, but it's a little bit wrong, but that doesn't really, you know, that doesn't really change the sketch itself. it's, oh yeah. Okay, so next we got Logan. Logan had a big ass email, so let me drink some water because I'm not really good with reading. And you know there's some reading ahead, so fucking, oh jeez, look at all that reading. Hold on. Look at all that reading. Oh, that's gonna be painful. DJ says, I can't remember who this is, but there's too many people who like that in anime. Oh, I don't know who that is either. He looks sexy though. Okay, let's read this from Logan. This should be the longest email you get from me. Sorry. Well, this should be the longest email I've ever read, so I'm glad because I'm learning. I'm on your patron. Technically, those dollars start on December 1st, but I signed up last week, I think. Oh, it's no worries, baby. All I care about is the fucking number. I don't. That's the thing. I don't even spend any money. You see how I'm fucking wearing? I eat fucking rice and eggs. I just want to keep the money in the bank. This is what I'm here for. I've been putting off sending some work over because I didn't feel like I was at a place where I can get a lot out of it. So there are going to be a few pieces in here and a little backstory. Oh, dude, I can help you with whatever. You can send me a dick pic. I can give you some advice on that. So I'm 30 years old, software developer. I took commercial art in high school and was okay at ink drawing, but that was pretty much it. Oh, dude, that's not a small thing. You were okay at ink drawing. That's like the hardest drawing there is. I ended up doing the military and computer science and continued my career as a programmer. Oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. I decided 6 months ago that I wanted to change careers inside of 5 years to be something in art and picked up drawing again and started to fiddle with digital painting. Okay, baby, you're back in life. Okay, you're back to the game. Enough with the program shit. In the beginning, it was bad, like real bad. Logan won. Yeah, by the way, I really like, dude, shout out to all the people who've been saving their files with their name, man. God bless you, so I don't spend time doing this shit. So let's have this file over here while I'm reading the email. So he says this was his first drawing, right? Dude, thank God I read the email because I was just going to start just shaming him on this, and then I realized, oh, that's actually his first drawing. Oh, hey, it's Ming. Oh, that's you though? Wing Dente? That's Logan? Oh shit, hello Logan. Damn, about to check out. I ain't here to read a novel. I love myself some anime life story. Oh, it's cool. I can make it interesting. I can put a bunch of dick jokes. Logan 1 is the first attempt at digitally painting something with a character. Okay. I mean, you were right for one thing. It's definitely really bad. Logan 1 is the first attempt at digitally painting with something with a character. Logan 2 are my early stages of trying to determine how to draw ahead. Logan 2. Okay, you're doing good. Not really though. Logan 3 and 4 are a couple of Inktober pieces that I liked. I ended up doing 27. Okay. After Inktober, I decided to focus on drawing so that I can get good and use the experience. I ended up picking portraits because those faces are some of the more complicated, most complex objects you can find. So there's a lot to do and learn. Okay, so Logan 5 and 6. So these two are some of his first portraits. Oh, that's pretty good. Dude, I remember one of my first digital portraits. That looks definitely better. So fucking congrats. And you also have me. Damn, I feel lucky. I feel lucky for you. Logan 5 and 6 are my first attempts. Then I joined your Discord server and I got a critique on those too. Oh shit, people helping you out. And decided to step back into grayscale and focus on breaking down a reference before during drawing painting. Oh, good job, buddy. Good job. You're doing good. So I've done Logan 7 and 8 now. Also had to create my own 2 Procreate brushes for those because the built-in ones suck for painting in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like they're pretty good, but Procreate in general kind of sucks for painting. But to be honest, I don't even feel like you're on a painting level, buddy. Like you should be doing a whole bunch of drawing. Like right now, you shouldn't even be doing any grayscale. But I'm gonna talk about this. There's still kilometers to go. I haven't heard anybody say that. And I haven't even really got to rendering and the hair sucks. Oh dude, thank God you didn't do any rendering because you would just make things a lot worser. Good job, Angel. People are paying you to fucking listen to proper grammar. I have studied Loomis for a couple of months and just started working out the planes of the head. Oh, good job, buddy. That's what you need to be doing. So yeah, that's my story and those pictures. Any advice and recommendations would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, man, I'll just, now I kind of feel sorry for reading the email because I'll just tell you what I tell everybody. It just follow the fucking exercises. So you did pretty good here. Just follow the YouTube. Do what DJ is doing right now. Like if you look at Ahmed, I'm gonna talk about Ahmed. Just do this, right? You have a reference. You're breaking it down, and then you have your sketch on the side, and then you send it to me, and I'm gonna tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. Right? Shout out to my boys on the disc. While I bully chat on the Discord. Yeah, there's some work happening in the Discord. I don't know how, but some people were helping some people. So yeah, man, you're doing good. Just, I mean, not really though, but I just kind of wanted to give you some hope. Forget about painting in general. Just focus on the drawing. And just, I'm going to do a planes to the head video. And a lot of you need to follow that. So I'm really excited because I'm recording it tomorrow. So that's going to help you. So just do that. Send it to me. And we're going to get from there. Maria. Okay, let's look at Maria. Eyes don't make sense when features to draw. Oh yeah, so I remember that. So this is Maria. This is the reference that she used. This is kind of like a breakdown. She tried to do the thing with the lay-in, and I'm so happy she did the exercise, man. But a couple of things that she did wrong, right? So first of all, what are these bows? Like, what are these eggs on top of the eyes? I don't really understand it. Like, what is this supposed to represent? Like, those are definitely not the bowl of the eyes. Like, dude, can you imagine if that was your eyeball? Like, just half of your head was a fucking eyeball. Dude, you'd be fucking Mad Moody from Harry Potter. Like, you just have a crazy eye looking in all directions. So when you're doing the bowl of the eye, it should be like the bowl of the eye is as big as the eye, right? Like the eyelid is going from corner to corner. So actually the eyeball is going to be this big, right? And I talk about it in the video how there should be two lines. You actually drew the line perfectly. Like you have this line right here. Why don't you have the bow inside? Like, why is it so big, right? So that's kind of like the main thing, like make the bows a little bit smaller. Then another really important thing is this one, right? So this, I kind of talk about it, how you have the side of the face, you have the cheekbone, and this thing is going to be like the two lines for the eyeballs are going to hit the cheekbone over here. There's going to be a line. So there's going to be actually two lines. So this line, right? These two lines are going to be almost, actually they're going to be as big as these two lines. And then from the second line over here, it starts the cheekbone. It goes down from here. So I don't know what you try to do with this line, but this line is wrong. It should be somewhere around here. And do I have the official reference? Oh, I have it right. Oh, that's great. That's great. So I think the main mistake that you did is you try to draw this line, right? And actually this line right here, it's more like it's more of a skin thing. Like the muscle is actually going kind of like that. Like that's going to be the muscle. And then this one, it's kind of like starting the outer muscle. I don't know. This guy has a whole bunch of weird proportion. That's why he kind of looks like an alien. But I feel like you push this one a little bit too to the side. Like it should be somewhere in here. Like if you actually look at the corner of the, like this one, like the dude, his cheekbones are fucking crazy. Did the guy do the what was it called? Mewjawing? The people that do that shit on YouTube, man, fuck those people. You ain't got a better thing to do to fucking work on your jaw, you homeless ass motherfucker. Yeah, so that's kind of like the things that you've been doing wrong. You kind of focus on the eyeball a little bit smaller, the cheekbone, and when you're doing, like, there's nothing wrong with just drawing the lips, but when you're drawing lips or nose, kind of like what you did with the nose, I like how you broke it down into planes, even though it's wrong, because it should be like that. Like this edge should be right here, and then it goes like this. So the edge of the nose, you actually did it perfectly in the reference. I don't know why you kind of fucked it up. So see that there's like a trapezius, and then is that what it's called, trapezius, whatever the fuck it's called. Then it's going up like that, and then there's going to be the side. So actually this edge is going to be over here, right? You kind of draw him, you know, at an angle. Actually the whole face is at an angle, so maybe that's why you got it wrong. But think about the form the same way that you did the nose. Think about the lips. So you didn't really break anything down into the lips, and then you just drew them, right? So that's why they look kind of wrong. Think about the lips the same way that you're gonna think about the nose. Just break it down further, right? And I'm gonna talk about it on fucking YouTube as always. And yeah, just keep doing those, man. I feel like you just did one. She actually sent me this. I don't know what this is. It looks kind of cool. Starry sky or something. Do with the fish though. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool with a fish. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I don't know really what to critique. You're just, if you want to learn portraits, man, keep doing these breakdowns, find more references, and then send you. Why did I have this though? Do you have a breakdown of this? Why do I have only this reference? I don't know. Anyway, do more and then send them to me. The egg shapes are all my sleepless nights coming back for me. Oh, those are your eye bags, dude. That's too big even for an eye bag. That's more like a chin bag. Don't be dumb, Angel. It's anime eyes. Oh, that's anime eyes? Dude, fucking... Why don't you have the iris even bigger, though? Dude, can you imagine if that iris was over here? That would look creepy as fuck. And that's the eyeball. Dude, I don't even know if that's anime eyes. Look at this, dude! Oh, that's crazy. Trapezoid. Oh, yeah, that's the name. Trapezoid. Yeah. Trapezoid. Let's see who's next though. Let's get it together, man. We wasting time over here. We got Timo. We got fucking Timo, man. I hope he's not hiding in the bushes being fucking invisible, but yeah, man, shout out to Timo. He's been kind of working on, you know, I pretty much bullied him last week. He was the guy that I was talking about, how he draws the same nose, the same character, you know, pretty much everywhere. So I think he kind of did these two paintings, or I don't know if he did them before that or after the advice, but I'm just happy. Listen, I'm just happy that you did something different, Timo. So fucking congratulations. But dude, you should be doing some, you know, breakdowns, or at least fucking grayscale. But please don't do color, man. Like, you can get to color later, but I don't feel like you're on that stage yet, right? Like, you can still feel... Dude, how did you draw a female? Okay, this is gonna be real bullying, but, you know, it's tough love. You need some tough love. How did you draw a fucking female nose from a totally different angle, and you still managed to draw the same fucking lines, right? The same fucking lines from this. Like, a totally different character, totally different angle, still the same nose, right? Just the holes are a little bit bigger. But that's the power, man. That's the power of people spending a lot of time just drawing one style, right? So let me tell you another harsh thing. But dude, you need this. You need it. Do you want to get better or not? Do you want to get better? Okay, then fucking listen up and start jerking off. Maybe more listening and less jerking off. But you see how you draw the eye? Like, just the eye looks like an omen. Like, it doesn't have any structure. It doesn't have anything. Like, that's what the eye... You literally drew two lines. One like this, one like that, right? You need to think about this shit in 3D space. Like, you need to, like... See how other students are doing it? Like, DJ is a good example. Dude, by the way, talking about DJ being a good example. Holy shit, DJ, you've improved, buddy. I remember when DJ was the guy who was the fucking abusee, and now he's the guy I give as a, you know, this is what you should be doing. So fucking congrats, buddy. You're doing good. You're still doing the fucking Terminator eyes though. I don't know why the fuck you keep doing this shit with the Terminator irises. Motherfuckers looking like this. Anyway, this is what you should be doing, Timo. Like, see how even though he's still kind of drawing the almond as the eyes, he's thinking about the whole structure, right? Like, he's still thinking about the planes. Like, he's still thinking about, you know, how the head is just acting in 3D space. It's not just the same nose. So please watch my YouTube video, try to do these exercises, and then send them over, and I can give you critique. But for now, I can't even give you critique. Like, what did you try to do here? Like, did your laptop fucking lag and you just did like a bunch of lines like that? I feel like when people draw here like that, I feel like, you know what happened? Like, they just try to draw one line, but then the fucking laptop lagged, so they just did a bunch of lines while not really looking at them, and then it fucking started working, and they're like, okay, that kind of looks like hair. And they just kept moving on. No, it doesn't look like hair. You just need to go back to the exercises. DJ says bullying is erection energy. God damn it is. Joshua says don't worry, we still love you. Oh, thank you, buddy. I love you too. I love you too. So let's talk about DJ, man. Now that I gave him compliments, now I can fucking destroy him. But what did I write? Oh yeah, more lines. So first thing about DJ, let's talk about... Oh, dude, by the way, DJ, can you please fucking mask out the boobies as well? And the vagina, I don't want to get banned. Like, just do a little bit of fucking shit with the nipples and with the JJ. Chris says laptop lag hair is cool. I know, he didn't even say it's cool. I just read the low and I thought it's meant cool. Yeah, the fucking people get stuck in laptop lag hair. You need to get out of that. At least have fucking mobile lag hair. Don't even have the laptop lag hair. I don't know, do fucking something. So DJ has been doing some figure exercises, and I take all of my compliments back. No, I mean, they were good for the portrait, but dude, for the fucking figures, dude, you need to do a lot more. You need to do a lot more because you're not really thinking about the whole thing. Like, you're just kind of thinking still about parts. But that's definitely better than people, people just drawing like a bunch of, lines like a snowman or something. So you're somewhere between a snowman and a gesture drawing. But basically what you should be doing, man, you should be having more gesture, right? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, you should think more about, like, let me show you real quick. All right, so for example, the torso in here should be more represented by a circle. Wait, let me get the color. So you have a circle, right? You have this circle, and then you have... Dude, watch this, by the way. Can you be a teacher if you're telling other people to watch tell people to watch other teachers? But fucking watch Proco, okay? He's gonna teach you better than I can, and I'm gonna, or at least until I do some fucking tutorials. Dude, he's so young in here. Dude, look at that Proco, fucking 2013. Holy shit, dude! Everybody, go watch this, okay? If you want to learn more about figure drawing, this guy gonna teach you a lot better. Again, I'm not even here to fucking teach you. I'm just here to tell you how to teach yourself, right? So he's the best for learning how to, he has a whole tutorials on how to learn gesture sketches. Look at that. Oh, this is what I'm talking about, baby. Oh my god. So watch fucking Joshua too, man. Watch Proco. Watch all of this shit fucking over and over again until you understand what the gesture... I mean, I don't really agree with everything. I didn't pay to watch your free YouTube video. Yeah, but you didn't know about the YouTube video, huh? I showed it to you. You paid me to show you a free YouTube video. It's not even to watch the fucking YouTube. Plus, I have my commentary, right? We can watch a bunch of porn if you want. I'm gonna get banned though. But yeah, man, spend more time watching Proco. There's some things I disagree with, but it's not even important when you're first starting out. So DJ, man, like, just watch all of these things on Proco, do some more sketches like this, and then I'm gonna give you the critique. But basically think more about the bean, right? Like, Proco explains it like this thing is more like a bean, so it's just two circles, and you have to be thinking more about the energy. DJ says I'm paying for premium guidance. Dude, that sounds like a jerk off party. Like, the premium guidance, like I'm guiding you to the premium orgasm. That's what you're paying for. Nina says, wow, I'll draw like that and send you Angel, mean the Proco sketch. Oh, that's great, baby, that's great. You do that and then send it to me. Chris says pathetic. Oh, fuck you, baby. So let's talk about DJ the face, man. Like, he's getting better. Dude, one question. Why do you still keep doing the clown eyes? I don't understand. What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is this triangle here? Okay, I've told you before. If it fucking works for you, I don't know. It doesn't really work though. Dude, the eye bag is going to be right here. There's no... It looks kind of cool though. It kind of looks like a clown who put his makeup on. But the structure of the eye bag is going to be right here, dude. It's not going to be down here. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But other than that, you're doing great. And by the way, why did you draw this big ass square in here? That's so random. You see how you drew it super small and then you have it super big. Dude, I don't know. DJ sometimes is doing everything great and then something happens and he just fucking flips. Is it fucking bipolarity, baby? Tell me. I got some of that too. It's alright. It's alright. But, dude, fucking be congruent to whatever the fuck you did. Like, look at that nose. That nose is perfect. That nose is perfect. And then you just have a random square on top of the fucking forehead, right? Just whatever the fuck you drew here, have the same here, right? Don't fucking experiment around with different shit. I mean, do experiment, but not in the early stages of you studying. So another really important thing, kind of like the red lines that I'm gonna draw now, are kind of like the planes that you need to have. So I feel like the YouTube is gonna help you a lot to kind of like understand more about this. But you need this cheekbone in here. You need this plane. Like usually these two are going to be different. These two. DJ says Pennywise is hot enough. You're just the weirdo who doesn't like Pennywise clappers. What the fuck does clappers even mean though? Okay, I'm not gonna Google that because I don't have time, but I've never watched it though. Where can I find a patron of Broco? Oh, that's mean, baby. I like that. That was good. That was good. I don't know. Maybe maybe that can be my patron. It's just all I'm doing is you're paying me to find you other people, and that's what you're paying me for. So you can find other people to pay for. Dude, that's bougie as fuck. Okay, let's get to Anna though. Anna, dude, she did a study. Dude, by the way, I'm so happy that Anna is renaming her files. But please, Anna, can you send me the reference as well? I know I'm the one that sent you the references, but I don't even know where they are in my computer, so I had to spend fucking time finding it. I mean, like 2 minutes, but fucking 2 minutes. I know. That's like a lot. I don't know. So please send me the reference, everybody. When you're doing studies, please send me the reference as well, so I know, what you're working from, so I can give you a better critique. So for Anna, I kind of like, dude, Anna has so much potential, bro. Look at that shit. Like, Anna just has energy, right? Like, she has something in her artwork that just kind of like, it looks expressive, right? Like, there's a lot of potential. But one thing, I think I mentioned it last week too, you gotta bring it down a little bit, baby. Like, you gotta go back a little bit. So Anna, please do more realistic drawings. Actually, you're doing great, but if you want to get to that stylized level, you need to go a little bit more into the realistic. So a lot of people, what they do is they have their work kind of looking boring. I'm not gonna give any examples, but pretty much everybody. But what Anna has is your work is already interesting, but if you want it to be even more interesting, you need to go back to realistic, learn how to draw realistic, and then you can go back to the energy. So that's pretty much what I advise you to do, is just go back to the realistic. And I really like all these weird lines that you're doing, like for example the hair, like all these weird stuff that you're doing. It kind of looks cool, but again, you're doing these studies so you can learn, right? Like this blue line here, it might look kind of cool, like artistic and shit, but when you do that, oh, that's really good, by the way. When you do that, it might look cool, but you're not really studying anything. Like, the reason why you're doing these studies is for you to understand how to do portraits, right? So actually do more realistic paintings. Stay away from all these crazy brushes. Just use the brick brush. I think that's the sketch brush that you're using though. But just don't use it like that. DJ is kind of using it like that as well. I mean, it looks cool, but we're just trying to learn about how to draw portraits, not how to, you can experiment with all these things once you understand the portrait. And yeah, that's what I'd advise you, man. Just spend more time. See, like this stage, you were doing great, and then you did a bunch of stylized shit, and it looks cooler because it's more stylized. But you know, you're pushing it too much. Go back to realistic, please, baby. Bruh, I wish Ross posted as much as Angel. Anna says, I already subscribed to Ross on Patreon thanks to you. Okay. I'm giving fucking people credit. Joshua says, bruh, I wish Ross posted as much as Angel did. Oh, that fucking, okay. Okay, that was kind of a compliment. Anna says, oh, can I send the refs? Okay. Eddie says, it's okay, baby, you can use my sketch for bad art examples. Well, yours is only like line art, so I don't think I can use it as when it's like a painting, but definitely bad line art, man. But keep going. Ahmed says, please check your email. I sent you something that I always wanted to give me your feedback. Okay, is it a naked photo? Because I'd love me some of that. Dude, don't look at my emails. Don't look at my emails. Real quick. Ahmed, last piece. Dude, did you write peace like this? Dumb motherfucker. Dude, every time I tell people, if I'm the one critiquing you on words, you're really in trouble, okay? Because I don't even know how to spell easy words. And if I notice you got a mistake, dude. Peace, okay? Okay, let's get a critique of this, though. That's kind of cool. Angel estrogen is kicking in. Oh, dude, you know I got way too much estrogen and testosterone at the same time. I got too much of everything. I picked up drawing the head and hands because of you. Start drawing the affiliate money. Oh, that's so cool, man. Dude, my legacy would be like, you know, like people like after I'm gone or something, or people get better, they wouldn't be like, I learned so much from Angel. They would be like, I learned so much from Ross Joes, but I know Ross Joes because of Angel. So, you know, I can be like the original guy that, you know, you came up to give you the fucking goals. I wish my art was so bad so I could get on Angel's YouTube video. Oh, baby, you know it. Oh, shit. Dude, you haven't even been sending me any art. How the fuck you want to get to the YouTube video, huh? Send me something and you might hashtag Frankie. No, man, Frankie. By the way, where is Frankie? She didn't send me any work this week, man. Please, Frankie, if you're watching, you gotta send me this shit. I learned how to spell emotionally, though. Oh, you got me on emotionally. I don't know how to spell emotionally. I think I have it on emotionally confused. Is that right? I don't know. That's a hard word. Okay, anything with above 5 letters. But peas, dude, fucking peas. That's 5 letters. How did you fuck up peas? I mean, I get it because there's like 2 words. Anyway, who was talking about though? Anna. Yeah, so Anna more realistic, and then we have Ahmed. Okay, let's look at Ahmed, man. What is he up to? He sent me this just now. Where did I put it? Okay, let's look at this, man. So I'm really impressed by Ahmed, by the way. We had a really long talk. We was talking about life and shit. And I thought he's more of a beginner, but he's actually really impressed me with his portraits. So I really like what Ahmed's been doing with his with the portrait sketches. I feel like he should be doing more planes. So I really like how you kind of like have the box. Like he's doing really good. I don't know what the fuck is this form though. I kind of like that you did the same form in here as well. I feel like that kind of like, you know, it makes for an interesting shape or something, but I'd probably say stick to a box just so you understand perspective, because the thing is that form kind of looks cool and you can represent it and shit, but the problem is that it doesn't have perspective, right? If you have a box, like the whole box in here, you're missing this line. Like, wait, let me draw it in green, right? So you don't have this line right here. So if you're drawing, for example, this line, and you don't have this one, it can be kind of confusing, right? So actually focus on the drawing the whole box, and everything else you're doing great, man. I'm so impressed by Ahmed, because like he's trying to do more like, you know, designs and shit, and look at that, man. That's a great portrait. So focus a little bit more on the planes. I don't think that's really a good example of a reference though, because you don't really see the planes, but I'm gonna talk about it again as always, dude. I've never done so much promotion of one of my videos in my life. But this line right here, you need to have it up for this one. Like there's one line in here, there's another line in here, and then the nose is going to be sitting on the top, on the bottom. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I think this one is like super good actually. Oh dude, that's a new compliment. Super good. It's not even pretty good, it's super good. So he's doing great, man. I really like those. Keep doing, and I think next month we can get with Ahmed, we can get to some shading, because I wasn't really like expecting his sketching abilities to be so good. But let me give him some feedback on the painting though, because it's definitely not as good. DJ says, speaking of YouTube video, I know I'm in the cutting board, so when are you gonna end my suffering and execute me to the public? Dude, DJ said in one of my YouTube videos, he said, dude, what did he say? That was so funny. He said, dodging another week of Angel publicly shaming his patrons or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's funny. Dude, I might oh dude, just keep going. I'm gonna get all you motherfuckers. Ahmed says, I can't find good references. Oh dude, why though? Spend more time on Pinterest, man. You gotta, the thing about Pinterest, you gotta spend some time in it so you can kind of learn what you like. So I mean, my Pinterest is a little bit fucked up because I'm looking for a lot of different things, but back in the day when I was looking only for portraits, like when you go to Pinterest, it was only portraits. So the thing is, I mean, you're not really using Pinterest for anything other than art, right? Like you're just using it for art. So focus only on portraits, because if you start searching stupid shit like flower, or you know, like cinema movies and shit. Cinema movies? Who even says that, Angel? Anyway, cinema steals, or whatever the fuck this is called. It's gonna learn that you like this shit. So focus only on searching portraits, and then it's gonna find them. But dude, there's some good portraits. The thing is, you gotta click. I don't think, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this on YouTube, but if you're not really like finding any good portraits, you have to click on the bad portraits in order to get to the good one. So just click on something that you're not really fucking with, and then open 10 more portraits, and then search. Like I'm not even searching like in the search bar, I'm just opening a whole bunch of portraits, and I'm looking what's, you know, on the bottom, and I just keep clicking until I find something good. And the thing is, once you find one good portrait, usually it recommends you more good portraits. But I've spent so much time on Pinterest, I kind of know. Dude, what's up with this girl face though? Holy shit. Oh yeah. Oh shit, we're on the bad part of Pinterest. Okay, go back. Yeah, so actually the more you look for you know, good lighting and strong structure, that's what's gonna you know, Pinterest gonna recommend. Oh, is this one of mine? That's my art. Oh shit, look at that. It's recommending a whole bunch of my art. Oh shit, okay, we good. What are you saying though? Pretty solid, Ahmed. She's sexy. It was some girl that I met at the festival. Okay. Damn, everybody's getting coochie. Dude, you should be getting coochie. You're a fucking artist. What are you doing if you're not getting coochie? Yeah, but this is kind of cool. I don't know. I feel like I've never really been into the style of you know, like the plain color shading, but it's interesting. Definitely something I can mention that you should probably stop doing is stop paying so much attention to wrinkles. I kind of mentioned this last week, I think, but you have to realize the difference between planes because of structure and planes because of wrinkles. So every time you exaggerate, like you cannot paint the same way that you're painting, you know, for example, the eye or the eyebrow. You can't paint the same way this wrinkle, because you end up with this, and then the chin, right? Like this chin right here, like this. I mean, so with red, I'm gonna paint the structure like. So the red is normal structure, like bones and shit and fucking planes and normal shit. So these are a structure. And then with green, I'm gonna paint the wrinkles. So wrinkles come from skin, right? And then structure comes from bones. So when you paint the same way that you're painting the structure of the bones, the same way that you're painting the structure of the skin, you end up with kind of like some weird face. Like I feel like you exaggerated too much the cheekbones, so that's why she's looking kind of like that. So you have to kind of like bring that down a little bit. So that's why I'm not really into these super stylized drawings, because if you don't understand this, like the things that I'm talking constantly, structure and planes of the head, how are you gonna do stylized shading if you don't understand the planes, right? So I advise you to spend more time learning more about the painting itself, and then you can kind of explore all these, you know, weird styles and shit. But anyway, it was kind of cool though. Let's see who's next. So do more exercises like this. Please find better references, Ahmed, man. I want you to find good references, okay? Spend some motherfucking time. I mean, this one is not as bad. Like, this is kind of good for a sketch. But then when we get to painting, you need to have some good references. Like, what the fuck is this reference? Be honest. Is this somebody you wanted to fuck? I bet you this is somebody you wanted to fuck. You don't draw. You draw girls for 2 reasons. They pay you, or you want to fuck them, okay? There's not anything else. So fucking, it's there. You got plenty of pussy, man. Goddamn, Ahmed, you getting so much pussy. Why the fuck you drawing so many girls that you know? You already got the pussy. Fucking paint girls who actually have the structure. Okay, we have only 2 left. 2 left, people. KJ, we got KJ. Let's look at KJ. Yeah, she sent me this. You know what KJ reminds me of? There's this artist that I was looking for. Yeah, this one. And she actually got her art deleted or something. So there's this artist called Yumi. Yeah, this one. And she was doing this art, right? And it looks really good. I kind of like it. She was getting a lot of likes. But basically what happened is, she got caught that she's doing a bunch of overpaints, and everybody started hating on her, and she ended up deleting her profile. So that's long story short. And I don't wanna start any drama. Thank God this is fucking unlisted. But DJ says, shoot, he spilled my artist's agenda. I got you though. I'll get more references. Okay, that's the way to go, buddy. So I don't want to start any fucking drama, but that's the problem with all these, like, people are trying to draw like her, but they don't realize that's a bunch of overpaints on a photo. So that's kind of an interesting, and the reason why I mentioned this is because I feel like this artist KJ was trying to copy that same, you know, same feeling. So basically what happens is, beginners look at all these, you know, subtle tones and, you know, all these subtle textures and all this beautifulness, and they think that the way to get that is through soft brushes. So actually that's how you get it. You know, for example, Ilya Kuvshinov, one of my favorite artists, when he's doing, let me show you, when he's doing this, right, he's not using any hard brushes, right? Like, that's super soft, you know, especially in the face. But the problem is, as always, beginners try to copy that. They're using soft brushes, and they're not getting the same results because they don't understand the same things. So my whole thing is, KJ, man, like, you're using way too many soft brushes. Like, all this, I don't even know if this is an overpaint on top of a photo. Like, it just kind of looks a little bit weird. I mean, it's definitely good, but I feel like if you really want to master drawing and shit, and you really want to get advanced, you should be using hard brushes and kind of focusing a little bit more on structure. So I don't even know if you used references. That's why I always tell people, send me all the references that you used so I can tell you exactly what you were trying to paint, because sometimes I don't even know what you were trying to paint. Wait, I fucking closed. So I think you're spending a lot of time on weird textures and shit. Like, is this an overpaint? I'm pretty sure that's an overpaint, right? Like, you see this hair, or maybe it's a bunch of other shit. What are you guys saying in this shit though? I pay 50, so I'm special. Yeah, hell yeah, you're special. I mean, for 1 hour though, and then you're not special. Anne says, okay. Oh no, she says, oh, it's where the reference name Maria is from. Oh, right. Oh, dude. Yeah, yeah. Oh, how did you get this? Or did you get? Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. I kind of gotta fucked it up. Oh, yeah. This one is KJ. It's not even Maria. Oh, shit. Thank God. Oh, dude. Thank God. Shout out to Ann Kelly, man. Didn't Angel say 2 months ago he was to be the Jake Paul of artist rap on YouTube? I kind of did. I kind of did. When he gonna make his diss track on Ross Jones? Ah, you guys are killing me. Oh, dude, I'm gonna drop the hottest diss track on Ross Jones. Dude, what am I gonna diss him about though? He's too nice. What are you so nice making fucking videos for kids? Suck my dick. Okay, see, I think that's pretty good. You guys take that, fucking loop it, do your effects, and we're good. We're good. Let's look at this reference though to kind of analyze. I'm not even sure if this is the same reference though. Is this what you did for reference or not? Anyway, that's beside the point. The thing is, you're using way too many different textures, like all this weird shit, like the noise on the skin and all this stuff like this. Dude, I'm pretty sure that's a fucking photo. Like you're not able to draw all these subtle detail on the earring. But I always tell people, man, when you're doing as an intermediate or a beginner, you're doing too many details. You're trying to hide something. And you know how I know? Because your boy used to do the same. So I'm gonna do a YouTube video where I fucking expose myself or whatever fuck it's called. But dude, I used to paint on photos as well. You see this shit? You see this shit? That's an overpaint on a photo. Like all this hair and shit. That's why this shit, like that's why I go so hard on people, because I used to do the same cheaty bullshit, like all these soft hair and shit. And you know what's the worst? Like it looks good, you know, you get compliments, but you start drawing something from scratch and you can't do shit, right? So that's why I always tell people, man, focus on the work, focus on the study, don't focus on the pretty piece. And I know I always say pretty pieces, but, and you know how you can always tell, by the way, that something is an overpaint? If you really go closely and it looks kind of realistic and painted, but if you squint your eyes, it looks like a photo and all the details a little bit softened, right? Like what happens is when you're painting, right? When you're painting, you cannot just completely draw something and then soften it and draw a little bit more. I mean, you can, but that's gonna take a lot of time, and nobody does that because it's not even worth it. So that's how you tell. Like you see all these little eyelashes and shit. That's actually the photo, but it's just blurred, right? That's what. Don't do that. You're not gonna get better with that. Nobody can diss Ross. That's true. Flaw your coochie game. Funny. Wanted to ask you, Angel, if you sing, and here it was. Yeah, baby, I'm even worse at singing than I am at live streaming, so probably not. If Angel can diss Ross, it's definitely God. I was watching these old portraits of yours and I got depressed. Now I know this was an overpaint. Yeah, man, don't get this stressed out. This is a fucking overpaint and it fucking sucks. I think, let me show you. I think, yeah, you see this is a one where I wasn't using any overpaints. So this is my actual level. This was my actual level, and this was what I was telling people I'm capable of. Like, it's fucking obvious that it's, you know, it's completely fucking different things. And the problem is, why I get so angry at people is because you're pretty much wasting your time. Like, dude, fucking, I don't even care about this shit. Like, for real, like I'm all for people getting likes. Like, you should get some likes, fucking go ahead, do whatever the fuck you like. But if you're just trying to get better, man, the problem is I'm now insecure that I wasted a whole bunch of time, and I feel like people are wasting time as well doing these overpaints. So it's not really giving you anything. So KJ, I don't know, baby, man, you're doing great, but it's like, what are your goals? If your goals are to get to the top level, I feel like you should bring it back a little bit, because you're relying too much on details, too much on structure. Like, I want you to do a study. Okay, that, you know what? That's like an assignment for KJ. Do a simple study, hard brush, kind of like this, what Josh did, by the way. This is looking good. Just do a simple study like this. like that, just hard brush, you know, normal study of a portrait, and then just send me that, and then I can give you feedback. Because this, I can't even, like, what can I, you know, critique on this? Like, it's just a whole bunch of detail that doesn't really make sense. Joshua says, Angel with caps lock. If you have time at the end, can you give me like a 3-minute critique on a painting I did trying to copy Ross? Oh, I was really trying to avoid that. I was really trying to avoid that because that's really fucking good. That's really fucking good. But let's talk about this. Let's just talk really fast about Johnny. Johnny. I don't know how to pronounce that. So this is Johnny. He's a new patron. Welcome, Johnny. Welcome to the Bully Club. And the same thing about Johnny, man. Like, I really like the simple style, no line art. But where are you headed? What are you trying to do? If you're trying to get better at portraits, I don't feel like you can do it without any lines. I mean, you can do anything, but you know, if you don't have the lines, it's just gonna make, you know, it's gonna take a lot of time. So the thing is, you have all these interesting shapes, Johnny, and you're doing really good with design. Like, look at that design of the hair though. That looks really good, like interesting shapes and everything. But the problem is you don't have any form, you don't have any structure. So you can't really learn that if you just keep doing these things. And that's the thing that people don't understand. How am I supposed to critique this? First of all, if you don't send me any reference. Second of all, I don't know what you were trying to do. Like, what can I tell you? Like, do a highlight. Like, if you do a highlight, it's gonna look worse because that's not the style that this is in. So when you're doing something super stylized, it cannot really get critiqued because that's, you know, that you can that's why people justify, oh, it's just my style. But it's like bullshit. Do you want to get better? If you want to get better, you should be doing fucking things that get you better, exercises. And exercises can be critiqued. You know, normal pieces, it's kind of hard because that's, you know, you're too deep into that. So Johnny, man, fucking what I tell everybody, do these exercises, try to figure out where you're at, and send me some of the exercises. Do some studies from photos, and then we can talk about how to get you better. Anne says, oh no, I take back what I said. The reference Maria is for 64. Oh, okay, for 64. Oh yeah. Oh, who is that though? Oh, that's Maria actually. Oh yeah. Oh, that's Maria. I just misnamed. And what did I say about Maria though? Oh yeah, she was doing this. Oh shit, I didn't even mention this. I'm sorry, Maria baby. I'm sorry. Thank God. Shout out to Ann Kelly for looking at my folders and shit. You better not find my porn though. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. I'd say focus a little bit more on the planes. Like, it's so cool that you added this highlight over here, but the thing is, I don't feel like you understand, you know, the shape and everything. So I don't know, man. I'm starting to repeat myself constantly, but really, I swear this shit is so easy. That's why I started with the Joshua example. Joshua fucking listened, 6 months. Look at that. He couldn't do shit before that. I mean, he could, but you know, not on this level. So final thing I wanted to talk about. So Johnny, man, just do the exercises I show everybody, and then send me that, and then we can get better. But let's talk about this really fast. The thing that Joshua did of Frost draws. I feel like he copied it so well that I don't even know what the fuck to critique. But let's look at it real quick. Don't get your expectations up, Joshua, though. Don't get your expectations up. So let's see. I feel like you just have a lot more harshness. You have a lot more harshness. Like the thing that I was talking about. You remember what I was telling you a couple of weeks ago about the eyes, and you do that pretty much everywhere, which is a good thing for a beginner. But once you get advanced, you should try to get rid of it. So if you look at the lips, because I think that's the best example. If you look at the lips, what happens is you're still on that intermediate level where you're thinking about more about the structure rather than the aesthetics, which is good because that's how you get better. So everybody right now who's a fucking beginner intermediate shouldn't be listening to this fucking advice, okay? And that's what people are like, why are you giving different type of advice for different people? Because people are fucking different, okay? I'm trying to be politically correct, but you can't fucking give the same advice to everybody, okay? Everybody needs different type of advice. So the thing is, when you're an intermediate or a beginner, you should be learning structure. You know, how to break things down, how to, you know, create form, how to break down the planes. And you know, I feel like you should keep doing this. But what happens is that's why you get all these hard lines, all these structural lines, and that kind of stands in the way of the aestheticness. So if you look at Ross' work, if you look at some of the stylized pieces that I do, you don't really see any, you know, you don't really see any lines like that. Like everything is super clean, like everything is kind of like more aesthetic. But the thing is, once you go aesthetic, I feel like you're not learning as much because you kind of get caught in just doing the same thing over and over. So I think what you should focus on is learning structure as much as possible, and then decide, when you decide to go more aesthetic, go fully aesthetic and just go from there. But I feel like you're still not on the point. So that's why, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to fucking justify myself, but I feel like that's the reason why I didn't really even want to critique this whole portrait, because I feel like it's just so good. Like, what can I critique of it? Just keep doing it, right? There's not any major issues. Maybe the neck is a little bit too big, but I think it's in Ross works it's a little bit too big, so I'd probably make it a little bit smaller. But it's just kind of like, you know, it's small things. It's more like aesthetic mistakes rather than, you know, the aesthetic rendering. But you're gonna learn this from experience, you know. It's not really like, that's why I wanted to critique more of this study. And by the way, that's why I said it's so important to be working from photos rather than master studies, because photos, it's like really black and white, like you know, this is what you did wrong. With master studies, they're kind of useful, you know, to learn from, but I think they're more useful to just to kind of keep on the side, because when you do a master study, it's like everything is solved for you, so you just try to copy it and you learn a lot, but I don't think you'll learn as much as photo studies. So I think you should just do more of these and then just keep Ross's work on the side, just to kind of, you know, study how he did the lips and try to do him like him. But just more, just do more, man. Just do more. I hope this makes any sense. Anyway, dude, it's been a long fucking live stream. I haven't shut the fuck up for 1 hour and 50 minutes. God damn, man. Dude, this shit is not good for your throat, right? But anyway, I really enjoy myself, man. I don't know if you can kind of tell from me kind of goofing on people and shit, but this is what I get paid to do. Fucking life is perfect. So thank you so much to everybody, man. I didn't really mention it in the beginning, but I have 74 patrons, fucking $893 fucking dollars. I have 11 people watching me, dude. And I remember literally 5-6 months ago, I had 1 person, or I had 0, or, you know, it's like, dude, shit, we're getting better, man. So shout out to all my people. I really appreciate you. You know, as always, apologies for being an asshole. If you want to ask me something, if you want to, you know, talk about something, send me an email. I'm gonna read it. TJ says, can't wait till we hit 2 hours of this. No 2 hours. I'm gonna leave before the 2 hours. Thank you for the stream. Oh, thank you too, baby. So I'm still learning, as fucking always. But you know, we getting better though. We getting better. We're just fucking learning from fucking experience. That's my whole idea, man. Just do your motherfucking best. Just put in the work. Just do whatever feels fucking right, and just grind the fuck out. You know, you see what's on my screen. You know the words, get shit done, motherfucker. So go get some shit done. Oh, by the way, I launched my website. I don't know if you motherfuckers, you all read this, but dude, I'm not gonna do any promotion on my Patreons. That's too low even for me. Anyway, I love you. Send me some work, and I'm gonna talk to you next week. Bye, man. Love you.